thank you everybody for coming. This is not my forte. I like to hide in the back in my office and do everything from my computer. But this is special, and I would do this for you guys again and again. So pretty much everything that Kevin talked about, I just want to skew it slightly because there's a lot of focus on the external customers, but there's a lot of importance to focus on the internal customers, which is your team and your employees. So just kind of looking at the different aspects of marketing and how they can affect internally, which then, of course, helps externally as well. Defining your brand identity and creating the customer-centric culture. I have to point this somewhere. There we go. Oh, shoot.
Who's that guy on the picture?
So, a little about me. I am born and raised in Indiana. I grew up, I'm the youngest of 5 from a blended family. I went to college at Ball State University, go Cards, if anyone is aware of them at all. David Letterman is probably our most popular alumni. He did not pay me to say that. I graduated in marketing and photojournalism, and I also did French and sociology. Like, I just always want to do everything and learn everything I can. Once I graduated from there, there's a lot to do in Indiana, but I had an opportunity to move to Virginia with a friend, and I took her up on it, and that's been 13 years ago. Came here, met my husband, got married on St. Patrick's Day, 3 years on Sunday. And I came here with the full intention of working for an agency. I wanted to do that right out of college, but I didn't have the opportunity. I worked for a small mom and pop shop, moved here, and pretty much have always just worked for a small mom and pop shop in some sort in Hampton Roads. I've worked at 3 different agencies, worked with all different kinds of clients, been everywhere, done a lot of different things, but I met Todd through a coworker of mine, and I ended up being their account executive and working for them doing marketing when I was at O'Brien et al. So I got to know a lot about one-hour heating and air conditioning, and I started to dream about working client side and how that would be really cool to go away from the agency stuff. It's very fun. You're always doing something. You're never bored. But taking everything that I've learned through all my experiences, and helping one brand, one group of people. I thought that would be cool. So that's what I did. And then through that, it was just kind of interesting to look at the aspects of working with agencies and helping the agencies get out to external customers, and then now being ingrained internally with a brand and then working directly with the customers, the external customers, but then also seeing the inner workings of everybody in a company and how hard every single one works to pretty much produce a product or service that ultimately helps the end user, and how all of them are little marketing people. So then my question was, who is more important, the employee or the customer? I don't know, who thinks employee? And then customer? One person, 2 people like customers, okay. So kind of along that, everyone talks about the customer journey, and I'm going to compare it to the employee journey. So internal marketing ultimately is your customer's perception of your company based on their experience. So it doesn't matter what your tagline is, what your colors are, how far you drive to get there. I mean, the whole experience that they have interacting with you on the phone, how your ads make them feel. I mean, that whole thing is an experience. Even if your employee runs into them at a grocery store and they're off the clock or something, like that's still an experience that customer has with your company. So I'm just going to go through, keep pointing this the wrong way, 4 different sections. Attract, integrate, engage, and retain. So attracting employees, which are the internal customers. Similar to marketing, you have to define who your target audience is. Depending on what your company is, are you going to hire an 80-year-old man or a 20-year-old woman? Does it matter? For 1 hour, an interesting thing about us is we have 4 disqualifiers. So if you have a bad driving record, if you have a felony in the past 20 years, if you use tobacco, you can't use tobacco on the job in our uniforms. And I'm totally spacing on the 4th one, but we have a 4th one as well. And then we also changed our method a few years ago, and we don't hire based on technical skill. A lot of places in any industry, if you have experience, you're much higher regarded, and you'll get a job a lot faster. We learned that if you have good customer service experience, if you have just good personality in general, we can teach you the technical stuff. That's not the important part. Customers don't care if you know how to change a capacitor in 2 hours. They care if you go there, make them feel good, can take care of all their needs, listen to them, communicate, and move on. Compete for talent the way you compete for customers. Kevin was talking about being everywhere. You should do that when you're looking for teams or teammates as well. Same with marketing. I mean, go to fairs, use referrals from your biggest customers, your external customers, if they know someone that wants to work with your company. Just kind of get the word out in any way to get internal customers or employees interested. And then make sure that your internal and external is aligned. That's huge for any kind of marketing. You don't want to say you're going to be on time and then always arrive 10 minutes late. Same with an employee. You don't want to sell them this big thing in your marketing and have them come in and realize day one that everything is just about a fluff and like you're not going to deliver. Yes?
So you say you don't hire for technical capability, but can someone have no technical capability?
That's a great setup for the next slide. Yeah. Everyone can come work there. So, and that's an interesting question anyway, because I don't think people take into account what abilities they have that can easily translate to a technical ability. So maybe you don't know how the wiring works at something, but if you can pick that up easily, then you're that much more ready to advance and just learn a new skill. Along with the attract, another thing that we like to say is we don't have any jobs at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We are extremely career focused. We're teaching you a skill. It's a skill that you could take and go anywhere else in the country, and it's in demand. So we don't consider it a job. We have, and I'll get into that later, but that's one thing that I think catches a lot of people off guard. And it's funny to me because sometimes our teammates, newer ones, will come in and be like, oh, I love this job, and immediately another one will be like, it's not a job, it's a career. So we've kind of ingrained that in our team right from the get-go that this isn't just another place you're going to be for 4 months and then you're going to leave. Like our goal hiring you is to have you here for the long haul and stay with you and train you. So now you've got them interested, and now you hire them. So integrating them. This is where a lot of that brand, core values, mission, all that stuff comes in. From the get-go, you have to have an onboarding process to be able to tell them all of your goodies with brand identity and everything else. Make sure they truly understand the company and can then represent the company. Involve your team. You already have a whole team, depending on how big your company is. If they've already been through all that, then they know it best as well, so use them in the process. A lot of our managers are involved in our onboarding process, and the training in general is about a month for everybody, but you go through every single department in our company, see how everyone works. You meet everybody, you meet Todd, but you get a little taste of all of it just because you can't do your job well and understand the company and represent the company if you don't know the entire company. And then being consistent. Consistency is huge. To expect the results that you want, you just need to continue to train all the people the same way. They all have different jobs, but they all should start with the same information and the same goals that, everyone's working together. And this is Robert. Robert he passed his grill, which is our test after about a month. So when you're ready, we'll give you a test. And everyone has the same test. And once you pass it, we'll give you a certificate, you get your van, you get to run your first job. It's a very exciting day. So we make sure to highlight them when they do that. And Robert is 20 years old and didn't technically have any mechanical skills, but he's super psyched about his career opportunities, so we're happy to have him on the team. Engage. Once they're there after the month of training, now they're in the mix. This is the long haul. So what do? Focus on being social, especially for marketers, and not doing social media. Be social with them. Don't do it for a post. Do it because they get joy out of it. Do it because it adds a little something to their day, or celebrate them because they did great in their job, and they may even share it for you. I could go on for hours on Engage. Investing in your team. I told Paul when he walked in, I think we've had at least 6 teammates from our office go through Dale Carnegie. And that has nothing to do with HVAC. That has all to do with just personality and improving yourself as a person and an employee. And knowing that an employer would want to do that just makes me want to do more things for them. I was also sent to the Wizard Academy, whoever is familiar with that. We can talk later about it if you're not. But I went out to Austin and spent a week at the Wizard Academy. So they provide a lot of different opportunities. We have a lot of even technical training opportunities, but constantly giving back to them will just, again, make them work harder for you. And then be more human. This is actually last summer. We had a dunk tank, obviously, and this is our VP. Each manager, I believe, had 10 minutes to sit in the dunk tank, and everyone took turns. And we thought 400 people would line up to dunk Ryan. Joe actually got the brunt of it, but it was just funny because they all had tickets that they won to see them line up and see who they wanted to dunk and who was having fun with it, and everyone just got into it, and it was the funniest thing, and it was just like a 45-minute thing on a Friday morning, them just bashing the managers. But I think that's huge too with investing in your team, is making sure that the leadership's in everything too. Everything should be a part of it. And in the end, retention. So to retain everyone, consistently be evaluating everything. Evaluate how you attract, evaluate how you integrate, evaluate how you engage, and then just put that all to see how you're retaining everybody. Be transparent. Every month, Todd has a company meeting. He hosts the company meeting. Everyone comes in. He does not go and fluff any of the numbers. He tells us exactly what's going on, where we failed, where we did great. We talk about people who have gotten married, people who are expecting babies, people who bought houses. I mean, we share everything with everyone. It is truly just a family there. And I think that's huge. And then inspiring loyalty. If you're expecting these people to stay around for a long time and be your brand ambassadors, you should inspire them to do so. And so to recap, so pretty much just going through all those things, it's not guaranteed, but if you focus on those 4 steps and internally marketing to your team with your brand, your values, your mission, everything, your culture will improve. The goal is to decrease turnover. There's always going to be turnover in some capacity. And then ultimately it'll increase your revenue. So the better your internal marketing is, it'll just expand your external marketing and make it more powerful than it already is. And then this is just a quick little video. We split the team. We do ridiculous things. I feel bad when people have their first day at our office and it's like a ridiculous day because they walk in thinking like, okay, it's my first day, HVAC, gonna like turn a wrench, gonna do this, and we have a cheer competition. So we divided the guys into 2 teams and they had to make up cheers within 20 minutes. The other team failed miserably, but this team killed it, and I think my audio's on. They kind of got it together. That was them. But in the end, ultimately, just getting them to do all that, going back to marketing specifically, I use them as much as I can in all of my posts and everything else to celebrate personal and professional victories and everything, and they share everything. I had a guy share a post this morning because he was in the background of the photo. Like, just free marketing and extra push for how great our company is.